The night Jesus was born did not only affect Bethlehem, it sent ripples far beyond Israel, across borders, cultures, and kingdoms. While shepherds were still talking about angels, something else was already unfolding, hundreds of miles away. There were men in the east, wise men, scholars, watchers of the heavens. These were not kings themselves, but they advised kings. They studied the skies because in their world stars carried meaning. And one night they saw something different. Not a wandering star, not a fading light. A star that appeared with purpose. They didn't rush immediately. They studied. They searched ancient writings, prophecies passed down long before their time. And there, hidden in the scriptures, they found words that suddenly made sense. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel. Numbers 24:17, King James Version. In other words, this star wasn't decoration. It was an announcement. A king had been born. So they did something extraordinary. They packed their lives into a journey. They gathered gifts, not random gifts, but meaningful ones. Gold, because kings receive gold. Frankincense, because worship belongs to the divine. Myrrh, because suffering was already written into this child's future. And they followed the star. The journey was long, dangerous, uncertain. But night after night, the star remained. It didn't disappear. It didn't confuse them. It guided them with intention. Eventually, it led them to Jerusalem. And this is where the story turns. When the wise men arrived, they asked a question that shook the city. Where is he that is born King of the Jews? Matthew 2:2, King James Version. Notice what they didn't ask. They didn't ask if a king had been born. They asked where, because to them the evidence was already clear. But in Jerusalem there was already a king, Herod. And when Herod heard this question, Scripture says he was troubled. Not curious, not joyful, troubled. Because Herod didn't rule by love. He ruled by fear. And fear cannot coexist with a rival king.
So Herod did what fearful rulers always do. He smiled. He pretended. He gathered information. He called the religious leaders and demanded answers. Where was this Messiah supposed to be born? And they answered him plainly, quoting prophecy they knew well. In Bethlehem of Judea, Matthew 2:5, Herod then called the wise men privately. He asked when the star appeared. He listened carefully, and then he lied. He told them to go find the child and return with news, so he too could worship. But this was never about worship. It was about control. The wise men left Jerusalem, and something remarkable happened. The star appeared again.
It is the sign we have waited for.
And Scripture says they rejoiced with exceeding great joy, not because the journey was over, but because heaven was guiding them away from danger. The star led them not to a palace, but to a house. And there they saw him, not on a throne, not surrounded by guards, a child. And without hesitation, these learned men, men of influence and intellect, fell down and worshipped. They opened their treasures, gold, frankincense, myrrh. And in that moment, wisdom bowed before humility. Power knelt before promise. But heaven was not finished protecting the child. That night, the wise men were warned in a dream not to return to Herod, and they left by another route. The birth of Jesus didn't just invite worship, it exposed hearts. Some people, when they encounter Jesus, bow. Others rejoice, and some feel threatened. Herod would soon show the world what fear does when it clings to power. And while the child slept peacefully, danger was already forming. Plans were being made. Violence was being considered. Because when the true king enters the world, false kings don't ignore him. They tremble. And this is how the Christmas story moves from wonder to warning.